Hey everybody, welcome to Adventures with Peps. It's time to clear off the desk and get ready for another project. This time it's going to be some quick and dirty terrain. I have a real issue with my terrain setup at the moment. I don't really have small line of sight blocking terrain, and what I mean by that is things like columns, things that your characters can hide behind. They get full cover. I have little things like trash bags, low walls, crates, things that would partially cover any character, but I don't have columns. They're something iconic in, I don't know, fantasy settings and in sci-fi. Usually in fantasy, it's a ruined column that's sticking out the ground that the hero hides behind whilst he looks in a mirror at the Medusa. Otherwise, it's a sci-fi piece of terrain that your hero's hiding behind as the enemy's blasting at him and chips of concrete are flying off the column as he keeps his head down low before spinning around the corner to kill all the bad guys off. So I wanted to make some, and I've got these offcuts of pink foam. The classic, if you live in Canada, it's the Pink Panther insulation foam that you can find at like the Home Depot's home hardware. But realistically, any sort of foam would do. Now, as you can see, I have decided to do a 1-inch kind of chunks, as thick as my ruler, and then 1 inches. And then I'm using the sharp edge of my ruler to really push the indentations in. This is really simple, guys. I can't express how simple I've done this and kept it. So once I got that, and I've made my edges nice and well indented, I guess is the term, I grab my my very old trusty dollar store craft knife that I really should upgrade. The blade is getting a bit dull, and I'm going to try and cut as best I can straight edges. Now my goal is just to use up the pink foam that I got laying around my desk from some other projects. So I don't know how many I'm going to make in total. As I actually voice over this, I do know it's 6. Spoiler. But yeah, we got 6 in the end out of this, and it probably took me 20 minutes in total. And as you can see, my blade was so blunt, I could not cut the damn thing. So I got a nicer cut on that, which made me realize how bad that top cut was. So I'm just going to try and eyeball this and clean it up. I don't recommend eyeballing. It never works out for the best. If you've got a way of squaring these up, I recommend it. Ultimately, it just needs to stand. So I tested it there and it stood. And this is basically all I'm going to do for cutting out the shapes. I'm going to get 6 of these in total. Comically, one of them I forgot to cut off the end piece to make it as level as the others. So I got one that is taller than the rest, which you'll see in the photos at the end. I'm just going to take my time, carefully cut my way through with this blunt knife. Of course, it's not blunt when I miss my mark and end up snipping the top of it a little bit. There you go. Slow and steady. I got a nice cut, which was lovely to see. There you go. That is one side of the columns now complete. I'm going to use my ruler. I'm going to use the other piece to kind of eyeball where my lines are going to be. I'm just going to hacksaw in with the ruler. Now, you could use a pencil, you could use your knife. There's a lot of things you could do to this to texture it as you're going along. And we'll talk about texturing in a minute, but I'm just going to hacksaw these so you can see what I'm doing. But I think you get the idea. I'm going to work my way around. I'll finish this column, and then we'll skip forward a little bit because I don't think you need to see me doing all 6 columns like this. But there you go. Nice and hacksawed. You got the 3 blocks. Very simple. With the columns now laid out, I grabbed a little ball of tinfoil that I crunched into a ball. As you can see, I'm just going to push it down. So on the corners, I'm going to really wear them in. This is where the citizens and who knows of what city, but the citizens of Mega City 1, if it's sci-fi, it's the wandering tribes of slain. As they're walking past, they're touching these columns, the weather is affecting them and chipping them away. Getting lots of lovely texture on them. So I'm just going to work my way around pushing this tinfoil in. Now the big thing with these columns, I want them to be generic. So I don't want to go overboard with anything. I'm not putting graffiti on them, not putting posters on them, not putting any grass or molds, anything like that. It is straightforward. I want these to be as generic as possible so I could use them in bolt action or Judge Dredd, Slain. Doesn't really matter where they're going to be used, but I just want them to look generic. So the painting is also going to be pretty generic as well. So I'm going to start off with painting the bases of each one. I'm just going for a simple flat black primer with some dollar store black acrylics. Nothing exciting. Getting the bases done first so that it gives them a chance to dry, and then I'm going to work my way around each column in turn, getting this black paint over them. And through the power of editing, the black paint is now on. It's dry. I grabbed some brown acrylic, once again, Dollarama Special. I'm going to use this piece of pink foam that I got here. I'm going to dip my brush in, and along the base edge of the model, I am going to just splatter on some brown. Now I'm going to work around the column and just splatter brown everywhere. It could be on cracks, it could be on gaps, it could just be a random piece of the column that I'm splattering on. My idea is if the grey doesn't fully dry opaque, it should show a little bit of the brown through it. It's going to add a little bit of depth, a little bit of interest to what is ultimately a rectangle. God, I'm selling these, aren't I? But at this moment, we're probably 6 minutes in, give or take. And I'm just going to get them all done. There you go. And then I grabbed my grey paint from the dollar store. Tell you what, dollar store has some wonderful paints. Mine are from Apple Barrel. They're nothing fancy. They are straight up just kids' acrylic paints. And they cost about $1.25 a pot. And they're great for terrain. Wouldn't use them on a miniature, but they're great on terrain. So initially I'm stippling it on. And then I'm like, what am I doing with my life? This is meant to be quick and dirty. So I start kind of heavy dry brushing, moving the paint around, trying to make sure I don't get brush strokes on them. So I'm just working my way around, pushing the paint in every direction I can. I don't want it all just going in one direction. So randomly going left to right, then diagonally, then up, down, some swirling around. And there you go. That is one side done. We're going to work our way through them all, and I'll see you in a minute. And there you go, the complete setup. As you can see, I've done a quick little setup on a small game board, thrown some miniatures down so you get a rough idea. But yeah, super simple, super easy. This is just using offcuts of foam that I had laying around and some craft paint. This really was very simple. I think you could do this with ease. If you do have a go at it, take some photos, hop over onto the Discord, links in the comments below, and show off what you've done. I want to see everybody's projects, so please consider coming over and showing off what you're up to. It can be Judge Dredd, bolt action, Warhammer, it does not matter. We love everything over there. So, yep, that's it for me today. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I will catch you again very soon. As always, thank you for spending your time with me. I know time is precious, and I will see you all again very soon. Bye-bye.